Hi guys, surprise! I'm back already because my stash came a lot sooner than I thought it would. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised, especially about Moe's sale. I thought it would be a couple days, at least a week or 2 weeks, and it showed up today. So yay! So I'm here to show you the little bit of stash that I said was coming in my November update from Facebook and Moe's sale, and my 2016 plans. And I'm usually kind of a mess when I come to these videos, and I'm looking for stuff and fumbling for stuff and dropping stuff. So I've tried to be a little more organized. So we'll see how this goes. Um, Make it go a little more smoothly, maybe. But first, so I'm going to start with the stash. But first, I'm going to show you my finish from today. And I showed you this on my November video a few days ago, but I finished it today. And this is Santa's list from Dimensions Daydreams. So I finished up the holly and the berries and the snow and the border, and so I'm very happy with it. I'm not entirely happy with the border because it's 4 strands of that gold thread and they don't lay flat, and some of them are loose, and I'm trying to fix that, but otherwise I'm very happy with it, and I think I am going to turn it into an ornament rather than try to get another piece of glass from Dimensions for the way it was intended to be finished. So there's my Santa stitch for this year. And that's my 4th finish for this year. I finished Bluebell, I finished Strawberry Fields, I finished Dragonfly Fantasy, and I finished Santa. And I might try to squeeze in another small finish before the end of the year, like the Eiffel Tower or another small kit or something, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I may end up at 4 finishes for the year. So, stash. My first Facebook purchase, well, the first one I'm going to show you that I purchased this week, because I've been on a spending spree on Facebook, is a Mirabilia, and this is Mirabilia's Gathering Eggs, and I got this from Stash and Load. This is Mirabilia 49, and it was published in 1998, and this is kind of her older style. I kind of miss her older style, like this one and the Kiss, and I miss the older style. The new style, some of them are okay, but there's a lot of the new ones that I'm not interested in. So this is a little girl with her little Easter basket gathering her eggs up. And I hope to get around to that sometime. And then the other one that I got, and this is kind of unusual for me too. I'm not huge on Noah's Ark designs. I know there's a lot of people that love them and collect them and stitch them, and I don't dislike them, but it's not something that I particularly care to stitch. This one I did get, I think because a friend of mine had stitched it. She is a big Noah's Ark collector, and I think this is the one she had stitched, like, probably 12 or 13 or 14 years ago. And it sort of reminded me of her, so I decided to get it. And it's the Ark by Lottie Da, and it's all done in black and brown. And you can see it's got the birds and the different animals and the little curlicues representing the water. So it's kind of a unique interpretation of Noah's Ark. Usually they're kind of children's designs. They're bright and colorful, and they got lots of animals. They're aimed at children. This is sort of a unique take on Noah's Ark, so I got that. And on here it has, you can stitch it in needlepoint silk, which I think might be the option that I go with, or you can stitch it in DMC. So there's that. And then we have my Moe's sale. And let me get that out of the way. So this is not one of my favorite things in videos, to be honest with you. but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you these. Oops. And here's Laurel dropping stuff again. Okay. So, I'm just sort of going to do these randomly. But this is palmetto. And it's just kind of a light, you know, palm green. These aren't really showing very true, are they? It's a little brighter than that in real life. It's not quite that soft. And this is mimosa. And this is a pink. It's kind of a peachy pink kind of at the top. And then it goes at the bottom down here. It goes into more of like a softer pink. Like into a softer baby kind of pink. So I like that one. And another mimosa. And these two are banana. This is like a dark yellow. And it's, yeah, these aren't really showing up very true. This is a dark yellow. And this is tennis ball. Excuse me. This is tennis ball. This is a very pale yellow. I kind of like this one. And this is key lime pie. It's a pale, you know, pale lime green. It's pretty. And this is, oh, I guess I should have mentioned, these are the ones that came in the grab bag. I ordered a grab bag of her silks, and these are the ones that came in the grab bag. This is Mayflower. And I like this one. It kind of starts, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a grayish purple, or purplish gray. And it starts out dark at the top, and then it gets lighter at the bottom. I like this one. I guess it's kind of a gray with a purple undertone. So, I like that one. This one might be my favorite one. And then there's, what's this one? Oh, here's this one. And then there's another green here. There's a lot of green in this package. But this is cedar. And it's just, you know, another shade of green. And then this is the most dramatically variegated of the ones that I was sent. And this is umbrella. And it starts out with like a dark purple up here. Or, yeah, I think that's a purple. And then there's like a pale pink, and then a darker pink at the bottom. So that's the most dramatically variegated. The rest of them are not very dramatically variegated at all. And then I have two more here that I specifically ordered, and I'll show you those later. Okay. So that was my first order of Most Sale, and we'll see. I'm not sure. They're very soft. I have some ideas on what I might do with some of them. So we'll see. Okay, so plans for 2016. I have some existing whips that are kind of be my priority, that I want to get these done this year, next year. And then I have some other thoughts about new starts and other things that I want to do. So I'm going to start with the whips, and then we'll get into the rest. My biggest priority is to finish Mains of the Seasons. This is my number one priority for the year. So, this thing. Okay, so there's what she looks like, which I'm sure you all know by now. And here's my progress on her, which hasn't changed since I showed you earlier this week. So I've got spring almost done, and I have to do summer's dress. I've got the brown border almost done, but I got to do most of the flowers on the inside of both the borders. So, and there's a lot of beading, very bead heavy. So this is my number one priority for the year, is to finish this. And this will be my first large mirror finish. I finished Bluebell, and I finished Christmas Elf Fairy, but I've never finished a large mirror, so this will be my first large mirror finish. And then my second priority is to finish my Stitch Along with Mackenzie, which is Quaker game board. So this will be my second priority. And I've still got quite a ways to go on that. I haven't even finished the border. And Mackenzie's like halfway done with hers. But this will be my second priority. And then the next two pieces I want to finish are this one here. This is the top, I think. Blackwork Hummingbird. So I want to finish that. And that's from issue 231 of World of Cross Stitch magazine. And I started this as a stitch along with the Blackwork Hummingbird Sow. Well, I'm stitching it, you know, in that group. I sort of started it before the sow began. A lot of people have already finished it, and I'm kind of lagging behind. And then the other thing that I want to finish is my adopted whip here of Deco Spirits. I adopted this from Melissa at Doodlehead Stitches, and I'd like to finish that this year. So that's those are going to be, as far as large whips, those are going to be my focuses. And those are the things that I want to finish. And then for new starts, I am going to join the Mirabilia Sal. It starts on January 1st. And I'm going to do the L from Letters from Nora. So that'll be my New Year's start by Nora Corbett. And I have a couple of other potential, as far as large pieces go, things that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, I meant to find the chart for you guys, and I didn't. I forgot. So, I'm thinking about maybe doing the Santa silhouette from Imaginating, and I meant to find the chart. I'll put an image of it right in here, so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is where the other Moe's sale that I ordered comes in. I was intending to stitch this for my Santa this year instead of the Santa's list, and it was kind of big. It was a little bigger than I was looking for. But the other thing is that somebody had suggested stitching it in silk, And I was like, that had crossed my mind, but I was like, that's a good idea. So I started looking for a stranded silk to stitch it in the right color. And it's Lori at Organic Granny was talking about this in her video. It's really hard to choose stuff online because you can't really see what color it is. But so I was looking for something that was kind of an appropriate color. It's charted with DMC 498, which is just a dark Christmas red, or like a medium Christmas red, and it's a very appropriate Santa color. That's about the color that it should be done on. So I was looking around for silk in sort of that same color, and the one that I ordered was Mo's Sale Geranium, and as you can see, this is not quite the right color. Here it is next to the DMC, and you can see it's quite a bit darker. I don't think it's gonna work. It's not quite the right color. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it could work. It would probably be pretty if I did it in the dark one. I'm gonna think about it, or you can tell me what you think. But that wasn't quite the color that I was looking for. So I got 2 skeins of Mo's Sale Geranium. Okay. Other possible new starts. No. Other possible whips to work on. Let's do that. Other possible new starts. I may start, if you remember, this year I had bought the design for the Sampler World large sal of His Eye is on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. And I have not started it. I didn't get around to participating in the sal. I did do the small one, which was Strawberry Fields. Didn't get around to the large one. So I may start that. I may start my chatelaine. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year. I really would love to get around to my chatelaine. I would really like to finish some more larger pieces from my whip list, though, because I have a long whip list, and I'd really like to finish those. So I'm still mostly focusing on that rather than starting these other large pieces. His Eye is on the Sparrow is huge. Chatelaine is huge. So I don't know. I may do one. I don't know. But other whips that I may or may not get around to this year. If I don't get around to His Eye is on the Sparrow, I may opt to do the Bagatelle sampler instead. This is Bagatelle by Long Dog Designs. Sorry about the glare. Yeah, there we go. So, and I started this I think in 2004, because, and I only know that because I was at my grandmother's house. We went to see my grandmother for Christmas, which we sort of knew that may be her last Christmas, and it was. She died the following November. So, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is my start on Bagatelle. I thought I was kind of farther along than that. Oh dear. But clearly I'm not very far along at all. But I've been kind of itching to do a sampler, and and this piece of fabric is huge. Oh my gosh. Oh, here. Oh my gosh. This piece of fabric is gigantic. This must be a fat half, but it's gigantic. Um, I've been kind of itching to do a sampler, and I may opt to go with Bagatelle, which is an existing whip, rather than start a new one. So that's a possibility. If I finish Mains of the Seasons, and maybe Deco Spirits too. I don't know if I'm going to do Deco Spirits first or not. But if I need another Miro whip, it's going to be Savannah's Curtsy. And I'll show you where I am on her. A little farther along on her than I am on which way does this go? I think this goes this way. No. Which way does it go? Yeah, it goes this way. Alright. A little farther along on her than I am on Bagatelle. But there's my progress on Savannah's Curtsy. I got her arm, and because when I started this, I'm still kind of intimidated by all that white in her skirt, and so I wanted to get over there and start working on it as soon as possible and start kind of chipping away at it, and then I can come back and do her skin and do some of the colors in between sections of white. So that's where I am on Savannah, and if I need another Miro whip at some point during the year, this will be that. Alright, so I think that's it for large whips. Mains of the Seasons, Quaker Game Board, Blackwood Hummingbird, Deco Spirits, maybe Savannah, maybe Bagatelle, maybe His Eye is on the Sparrow, maybe Chatelaine. Chatelaine is doubtful, to tell you the truth, and His Eye is on the Sparrow is kind of questionable too. But Savannah and Bagatelle, there's not a great chance, but there's some chance that maybe it'll see some attention. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking about, and this is the part that I haven't quite totally worked out yet, but I have all these little tiny pieces in my stash, and just things that would be really cute, really quick stitches, and they just kind of always get overlooked. Partly because I've been trying to reduce my whips, and so I haven't been starting a lot of things. And partly just because, I don't know, they just get overlooked. So I thought it would be fun just to take a year and just prioritize stitching some of these things up. And when I first thought about it, I thought maybe I'll do that exclusively. I didn't really like that idea because I didn't really like the idea of leaving the rest of my whips untouched for a year. But I haven't really figured out how I'm going to balance it. I'm sort of thinking that I might do one a month. One of those small ones a month, and I'll aim to have 12 done at the end of the year. And these are going to be finish one before I start the next. I'm not starting all of them for January starts or Stitch Mania. I'm going to stitch one at a time, and I'm going to finish one before I start the next. And so I have some pieces picked out, and I'm kind of going to stitch them in priority order, the ones that are most important to me first, and then at the end of the year I'll kind of, choose from the ones that they would be good if I did them, but they're not as important to me to get done. So the first one that I'm going to do is also an existing whip, and if I can figure out what I did with it here it is. Let me move all this stuff. The first one is an existing whip, and it's Summer Arches by Bent Creek. And this is probably the biggest one of the ones I've picked. The only one that might be as big is Mixed Berry Cheesecake. But this this is a whip that I started sometime, I don't know, I think it was 2002 or 2003. I seem to also remember it being linked to a trip to Ohio somewhere. So sometime in the early 2000s. And this is going to be the first one that I finish. And I'm not really very far on this either. This is, do these go up or down? These go up. Okay. So this is where I am. This is the watermelon block in the center. And that's all I have on it. But that's going to be my January project for these little stitches, because it's an existing whip and it's ridiculous that it's not done yet. So I'm going to do that. And then the rest of these, I sort of divided them into two categories, and I'm going to show you the ones that are important and the ones that they'd be great if they got done, but if they don't, then they'll move into 2017. Here is Mixed Berry Cheesecake. This might be my February project, sometime in the early part of the year. This one is also going to be in the early part of the year. This is one of the ones that's I'm more anxious to stitch. This is Little House Needleworks Battle Hymn of the Republic. So that's going to go early in the year. This is the companion piece to my Dragonfly Fantasy that I did in August. This is a butterfly, and it says Daydream. And it's called Butterfly Fantasy. So I have my Dragonfly hanging at work, and when I finish this, I'll hang that with it. This is also going to go pretty early on in the year. And then this one is Little House Needleworks, the bookshelf. And I just like this one. Another candidate that, this one is going to go very early on. This one is going to be done over Christmas break or into January. If you remember from one of my videos, I think maybe my October video, my September video, I had ordered this. I'm going to do this for a coworker for his birthday, and his birthday is in January. So, that's going to be, I might do that over Christmas break. I got my vacation approved for 2 weeks, Christmas and New Year's. And then this one will also go sometime early in the year, and this is my Sweetheart Tree, D is for Dog, that I got from Stash and Load Group. I also have, of course, my recent acquisition here. I just showed him the other day too, my Candy Cane Pooh. And I think I want to try to get at least one of these done. And probably the one that I'm going to try to get done is Candy Cane Piglet. That'll probably be the first one that I do. And then another one that I might do is Ink Circles, Here Comes Trouble. I have this kitted, I have the threads for it, and the fabric. I think I have the fabric. So I might do that early on in the year too. And then the other ones that are going to be later on in the year, or might get dropped, I don't know. This one, is Turret in Town by Ink Circles. And I'm going to do this in that turquoise silk from Redfish Dye. And this is kind of actually a little bit on the big side for this, so for this project of sorts. So this might wait until there's a slot in my rotation for a new start. Although it's probably a fairly quick stitch, so that might get a slot in here somewhere. And then here's some other ones. This might get a slot later in the year when it's Christmas season. This is Theodore Bear by Designs from the Needle. Theodore Bear. Somebody was recently working on him, and she was having all kinds of trouble with him. I think she did finish him, but she was not enjoying him. I think it was somebody in Cross Stitch and Discuss, maybe. So I have my two Biscornus that I ordered. There's the Halloween one, and there's the Cherry Blossom one. I might do one or both of those. My Sweetheart Tree Summer Sunflowers that I got while I was in New York. I won't get too close with it because that's the chart. My Itty Bitty Strawberries by Twisted Threads. This one I'll probably sneak in somewhere because it's so little, and it'll probably be a relatively quick stitch. I think it's stitched over one. Yeah, it's stitched over one, so I might sneak that in somewhere. This is another one that I'll probably sneak in somewhere. This is Under the Sea by Elizabeth Designs. I'll probably sneak that in on a weekend because it's really, I expect it to be a really quick stitch. This is also one that I bought in New York. The Fizzy Moon kit from the World of Cross Stitching magazine that I might give to a friend. His birthday is also in January, actually. Maybe I'll do that for that. And then this one, this is probably going to be up there with Turret in Town, where it's going to wait for a slot in my rotation for a bigger piece. But this is one I also recently bought on Facebook, and it's Told in the Gardens, Voice of the Shepherd. A little bigger for this project to get some smaller stitches in. And the glare is awful, sorry. But if I come across a slot for a larger piece, maybe that'll get in. Anything else? I have all kinds of stuff here. Who knows what's going to get in and what's going to not. I may end up with only 6 of these done. I may end up with 15 of them done. Who knows? But I did want to kind of be intentional about stitching some of these smaller designs, because otherwise they're going to sit there until who knows when. So, but the rule I am making on these is I'm going to finish one before I start the next. I'm not going to have... I'm trying to reduce my whip list. I'm not trying to add 12 more whips. So if I get through one a month, that'll be 12. And that would be great. So I think that's it. I'm not really sure. My rotation is probably going to stay about the same. 3 pieces. One will be a work project. And I'll just kind of switch between them at will. I'm not really sure, actually. Well, no, that'll probably work, because I'll have Mains of the Seasons and then I can switch it off with Quaker game board and one of these smaller pieces. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to balance getting the smaller pieces done with getting the larger pieces done, but I'll work that out. The smaller pieces will be nice because I'll get several small finishes and get some of the stuff out of my stash. I have a basket full of small pieces. I probably could spend a whole year stitching nothing but these small pieces and still have plenty left over. But I really don't want to, I don't want to not work on my other webs because I would like to finish my larger webs too. So that's my set in Jello plan for 2016. And I will see you guys at the end of the month, hopefully with an FFO of my Santa and some more progress on something. I don't know. Quaker game board probably. I don't know if I'm going to get back to Mains of the Seasons this year. We'll see. What I am not doing, but I'll tell you about it in case you need to be enabled. I mentioned earlier that I had stitched Strawberry Fields Forever, and I had bought His Eyes on the Sparrow as part of the stitch-alongs with Sampler World, and I am not going to be participating in those stitch-alongs this year. The large, I'll insert pictures of them here too, but the large sampler they're doing this year is All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna. And it's nice, but I'm not interested in stitching it. And the small one this year is the Little Red Chair sampler by Scarlet House, which is also okay, but I'm not really interested in stitching it. So I'm going to insert pictures of both of them, so if you want to join, you can join the Sampler World group or go over to the Sampler World group and join the groups that they've created for each of these stitch-alongs. And if I enabled you, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But I hope you have fun with them. I'm not going to participate, but... So, I think that's it, and I will see you guys at the end of the month. 2015 is almost over already. I still can't believe it. It seems like it was just yesterday we were doing this for 2015 plans, and now we're doing it for 2016 plans. But I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. Stay warm. I know places are starting to get snow. We're expecting a very wet winter here in California with El Nino. So, and have a happy stitching month, and I will see you soon. Bye.